All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. It is time for Professor Gadget. Jim George is here. We love this segment because, well, we're kind of kids at heart. We love gadgets, and that's what Jim does. In fact, he has just given us more than our king's share of gadgets this morning. I love thumb drives. Thumb drives are awesome. You know, just
there we go.
You can put everything on them and then look at your pictures later on. Yesterday, I went and I brought some old slides. Yes, you are. I brought some old slides. Yeah. To have them converted into JPEGs, Jim. So I'll tell you that story in a second. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, all.
Good to see you. Did you go to another convention?
No, this is from the last one I went to down in Orlando. I just hadn't gone through the bag yet, and I asked my wife, I said, where's that bag? And she said, I'll go through it tonight, and I'll give it to you tomorrow.
So the secret to being successful at a convention is to give stuff away.
Yes.
So people will remember you.
Got their name all over it. Mitsubishi Electric.
Have you ever been a vendor at a convention?
I have. Yeah, I was there 5.5 years.
Is that worth it to do?
It is. It is because people like to take home something that, you know, they forget your name and number. So we have pencils that say the name of the company on them, pens, things like that.
What did you give away?
We gave away pencils,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me tell you about my thing. My
yo-yos.
I got a yo-yo. This is cool.
My former wife, I don't like to say ex-wife, my former wife, she had a bunch of slides that would mean nothing to her because they were from my family from before we were together.
Yep.
And so when she and I parted ways, which was 1990, so it's a long time ago.
27 years ago.
A long time ago. But anyway, so she must have been going through these slides, and she pulled out the ones that would mean something to me, which was kind of cool. So yesterday, I brought them to Walgreens to ask them to make them into JPEGs. And not even knowing if they could, and they can, by the way, if you ever want to know. And they give you a choice. Do you want them on a DVD or a thumb drive? Isn't that cool?
Yep.
So that's it. That's
Perfect.
it. It's going to be on that, and I think that's a great idea.
Yep. So, yeah, I get those at the trade show. Every vendor hands out thumb drives. They don't want to do catalogs anymore. You know how much money it costs to print
right.
a catalog.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
So they just put them on thumb drives, and that allows you and me to go pick them up. And I just looked at one yesterday, as a matter of fact. I was looking for a tool. I put the thumb drive in. I found the tool. I called the distributor. He said he had it in stock. I said, send it to me. And then I'm passing that thumb drive on to another person today who's looking for some tools. It was specialty tools. Ah,
okay.
So, yep.
All right. I'm trying to get this camera working.
And I was going to tell Frank, I know he always listens, that I have his address, and I mean to stop by tomorrow, take a look at his property. That's how busy I've been. I'm going to make sure I stop by and look at his place.
Ah, awesome.
I looked for it once and couldn't find it, and then you guys pointed out to me
how to get there.
How to get there, yeah.
Yeah. All right, by the way, the phone line is open if you have a question about your gadgets. Maybe you want to put up an antenna. You know, Jim is in the business of cable TV. And yet he will advise you that if you would prefer to have an antenna, there is an option. And he's okay with actually telling you to do something that is counterproductive to his business, to your bottom line. Because ultimately, you're helping people get the TV signal into their homes, as well as what all these other gadgets do, right?
And there's probably been a lot of lightning damage. I don't know how many homeowners have experienced it, but I know in the cable TV area, there's hardly a day that goes by that I don't run a service call for a damaged phone line,
really,
damaged cable, damaged TV. You know, something lightning is hit it.
And we've had power surges lately. This past week in here at my house, and all of a sudden there will be this big surge, and makes you nervous.
Yep, you need that whole house surge protector. That will definitely save.
So let's talk a little bit about generators.
Yes.
Okay, because the question I have about generators, we have one here.
Yep.
And it's awesome because you don't even know, you see the lights flicker.
Yep.
And all you know is if it worked, that means the electricity's not on, and we've got electricity. The whole mall can be out.
Yes.
But we've got electricity.
Exactly.
So the question about that, we understand how it works and all that, but the question about it is this: how do you know, for example, if you have enough? Do you have to ask what do you want to use it for, like air conditioning, etc.?
Yeah, you size it. So, you know, an average homeowner is maybe 15 kW, 15,000 watt to 25,000 watt max. And that's under 3,000 square feet. But if you're 4,000 square feet or more, you might need a 35 kW. But you don't need to power your whole house. I mean, we had an outage that lasted for 8 hours, and my wife and I only have a 750 K. In other words, it's not even 1,000 watts. It's less than that. And we just turned off the things that draw a lot of power. We turned the air conditionings off. We turned the water heaters off. But everything else worked. Microwave worked. The well worked. Everything worked. So we had running water.
Oh my
we had
gosh.
lights.
How long did you have to do that?
6.5 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, but there again, when you're out for 6.5 hours, it's pretty bad.
No, I know. Exactly. All right, we do have a phone call. I hope I did that right. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Hey, Larry, Robin, Jim George.
Yes, sir.
You mean with all of his gadgets, you don't have a GPS to find my house with?
No, I do, but I couldn't find your house. I was in front of your house, and I said, is he the one on the real long driveway that goes all the way in the back? Or because I didn't see a mailbox or a sign saying, anything. So I didn't see the actual address. I saw addresses all around your address, but not your address. So I'm going to start by tomorrow.
It's on the mailbox.
Well, I'm going to look tomorrow. Maybe I was at the wrong side, but
I can tell you how to find him.
Yeah, he's going to give me ideal directions.
Look for the barn.
There a few
I didn't
times.
see a barn. That's what I'm saying.
Look for a barn down the driveway with a big red cross on
Yeah, I
it.
didn't see it, but I will look.
Yeah, that's it. That's Frank's place.
It's on the barn, or on the garage, I should say.
All right.
Yeah.
I will be there. I will call first.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
There you go. And he's getting antennas, right? Frank is getting.
That's what he
antennas?
wants. He wants antenna.
And that's I can tell you because I know because Doug has one. It's really an amazing. I mean, cable is amazing too. I'm not trying to downplay cable, but if you're trying to save $1 here or two,
Right.
sometimes that little antenna could make all the difference in the world.
Well, there's also channels that you cannot get with Cox and a few others because they don't want to carry every little individual channel.
Right.
And with your house antenna, you could always, and there again, with a power failure and you did not have Cox, but you had a little UPS on your TV or your laptop, you watch it.
Yeah, no, it's really a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Good morning, Jim. Couldn't you determine the wattage needed for your generator by looking at your panel and what the panel is rated at?
Well, it might be a 200 amp panel, but 200 amps could be any amount of wattage, as you know. It depends what the 200 amp panel is feeding.
Well, it's a 220 volt.
It is, but in other words, you can draw a lot more wattage through that breaker than you dare to. So you size it according to your needs. But like I said, a 2,000 or 2,500 square foot house, 15,000 kW. I mean, 15 or 20 max. 35 kW will be for a 4,000 square foot house, something like that. It depends how much air conditioning you have. There's because that initial startup is a killer. That generator would just almost.
Oh yeah, the tremendous surge.
Yes.
So that's why they have it figured out in a lot of businesses that it'll control what goes on at what time.
Exactly.
So to help eliminate that surge.
Right.
In other words, you could have your power out, turn the power off, and then turn it on, and in the house everything will go back on. But in some of these businesses with like factories or other things,
yep.
The lights will come on, then a little, I don't know, half a second, not a half a second, half a minute later, or whatever, this machinery will come on, or
right. It's stepped. Everything
whatever,
is stepped.
It's cycled.
Yep. Yeah, we do that. When we size a whole house or a building, we will put contactors in there so different things come on at different times so that the generator has a chance to get up to full speed, has a chance to level itself, because even a generator can give you a spike if something huge is kicking on, And you don't want that.
The other thing you have to be careful of is the fluctuation in voltage when using certain things. In other words, they have voltage regulators at utilities and surge protectors on their stuff.
Yeah.
so that it will regulate. They try to regulate the amount of current going out, not that something big kicks in somewhere and all of a sudden there's a sudden load that would go back to the generating system itself.
Yep. But for
But
the
anyway, I
average,
just thought that
Thank
you
you.
could just use the information on your panel
no, they
to
can't.
buy.
That's just average wattage. Yep.
Well, anyway, my thought being you'd be more conservative about what you're turning on and off anyway.
You try to
Because,
be.
when I lived upstate New York, I did everything on a 5,000 watt generator. But the thing I didn't turn on when the power went out or I shut off was a hot water heater. You know, a lot of other stuff in the house
Yes, yes.
to limit the load.
Exactly.
But I was able to run my air conditioning in the summer and run the heat in the winter, and use one burner on the stove.
Yep, yep. There's a lot you can do if you do stepped. All right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you,
thank you.
For the programming. Bye now.
Thank you, Sonny. Sorry, my microphone was turned off. All right, let me push the button that takes us to the break, and we'll be right
break
back.
time.
We'll take more phone calls on the other side of the break. The number, again, 622-9622. We will be right back. All right, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, let's return to Jim George, Professor Gadget, and your phone calls. The phone number is 622-9622. If you ever would like to call Jim at his office when he's not doing a radio show, what's a good number to call you at?
854-9795.
And Jim has the answers. Primarily, you would call Jim for cable questions, cable service. But you help people out with their microscopes.
Yes.
Yeah, the jewelry stores. You're amazing.
Yeah.
You help people out with their.
That was a real trick installing that one at Zales because I did it from scratch, whereas the K Jewelers was already installed. I just had to make it connect to the wireless. But no matter how I tried to manipulate that microscope, I could not get it to work. So I called the factory, and I said, "You gave me detailed instructions on how to set it up, but you never told me how to focus it." And they said, "Oh, just turn the top one to 100% clockwise, as far as it'll go. Turn the two bottom ones as far counterclockwise as you can go. Raise the bezel as high as it'll go." I said, "Why didn't you write that down?" Anyway, when they told me, the camera came on, everything worked.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And the purpose is so you could put a ring up under the microscope.
Uh-huh.
You can set the power level, how much you really want to see, with all the facets and everything. And instead of having to go over to the microscope and put your eyes into the eyepiece, it casts it either to your cell phone or to an iPad. And so they have an iPad they walk around the store with, maybe about a 9x5, and they show you the diamond that you're going to buy or the ring you're going to buy.
That's amazing.
With all the facets, yeah.
How neat. I got to go there just to do that.
Is a diamond worth less if they find a flaw in it?
I don't know. I'm sure it's always worth less. But they're not going to tell you. They're going to say, this diamond is really good.
All right, you do have a phone call. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air now with Jim George.
Yes, good morning. Mr. George, if you have a whole house surge protection, do you still need the small surge plugs like behind your TV, refrigerator, so on?
Yes.
And why would that be?
Okay, because the whole house surge protector is going to catch the the slow rise of a power surge, because it really is slow. Even though it's nanoseconds, that's slow. And then the little ones behind your TV and such, the MOVs and the few other different terminology they throw around, those catch the fast rise. So that's where your refrigerator cuts on in your own house. And when it does, because it's an LC circuit, an inductor and a capacitor, it sends a surge. And if you ever notice that something in your house will kick on and maybe a light will flicker, that's that surge. You don't want that on your TV. You don't want that on your set-top converter box. You don't want that on your VCR. So you stop that. So one's internal, one's external.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And phone lines are open if you want to call 622-9622. And there was a discussion this morning with Galen about apps. He said his teenage son, or maybe both of them, have an app for every fast food restaurant in town.
Yep.
I never knew this. So you hit the app, basically order the food, pay for the food, go pick it up.
Go pick it up. Yeah, my daughters, you know, I have 2 that live in town. They have signed up for like every restaurant there is that has coupons. And so what happens, they'll be in the office or in the home, and they'll say, oh, Subway just sent me a coupon and said, buy a drink, get a foot-long Subway free.
Oh, okay.
And they'll call me and say, and I'll say, I don't have that app. I am not running all the way across town to get a free sub. But they do. And my wife's got the Chick-fil-A one. She's got the TGIF Fridays, Carrabba's. All these restaurants have these apps that you download. And when they have a slow period of time, let's assume it's between 1 and 4 on a Monday, they'll just send you out a quick coupon thing and say, you ready for lunch? Come by. We have a special today, blah, blah. Order this, get one free.
Oh, my gosh.
So my wife and daughter would just go to lunch. I'll be in the office, and I hear the phone ring, and my wife's calling my daughter because she's the office manager and saying, you know, hey, let's go to lunch. There's a free, I buy dinner, you get one free.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A new way of marketing.
It is.
All right, let's, and apps, I'm sure, I mean, technology, I'm sure, is a big part of the new ways people market. Good morning. Thank you for calling, Jim. You're on the air.
Good morning. Yeah, my question is, how can Subway or anyone else who offers those buy a drink and get a foot-long sub free stay in business? That's my question.
Oh, well, you think about it, the drink is so cheap. I mean, you can get a 2-liter sometimes for 79 cents. Mm-hmm. They're going to give you this cup of, let's say it's 12 ounces or 16-ounce cup. And that's going to cost you $1.79 to maybe $2.19, depending upon where you buy it. And what is a sub? It's a piece of bread, lettuce. I mean, it's nothing. Right. So they're going to make money, but the idea is they want you to come in because you're going to get the chips. You're going to upsize the drink. Mm-hmm. You're going to do something. There's no 2 ways about it.
Jim, I knew you'd come up with an incredible answer to that question.
Oh, good. Yeah, the drinks are so cheap.
Because you are what? You are the professor.
Professor Gadget.
Thank you.
Oh,
have a great weekend.
Professor of Gadgetry. Yes.
Yep. I also brought in some hand cleaner tape, some sanitizer. At the trade shows, they have spritzer hand sanitizers they give away. They have little bottles, and they go on your keychain, a little small, just enough for maybe 20 uses or something like that. But when you need a hand sanitizer, you need a hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
sometimes,
for sure.
Yeah. For those moments when you shook somebody's hand and you can't wait to go wash your hands because they don't look like they wash their hands.
Uh-huh. And of course, at cable TV conventions, on the counters, almost every counter has one of those where you pumper ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a guy with a dirty hand, and he comes over and puts it on the top of the pumper.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he cleans his hand. All right. Then you come over and you put your dirty hand on top of the pumper. And if you don't do it correctly, let's say you just use a little spritz or something, that germ is spreading from person to person to person. So
exactly.
I get the little hand sanitizer. I keep it in my shirt pocket. It's got a clip on so it can go on your shirt or on your keychain. And when you feel the need, there you go.
Yeah, I love these. These are great. Thank you.
My wife keeps hers in her purse all the time.
And it just goes to show that the definition of what is or is not a gadget is very broad.
Right.
The fact that a little bottle with some alcohol, that's a gadget. Yes.
Right. And of course they have them scented and unscented. I always try to get the unscented. I don't want to walk around smelling like lilacs or lilies.
No herbal essence for you.
No aromatherapy here, I'm afraid. No.
Do you know what's an interesting topic also is accessories to gadgets. Mm-hmm. Like this thing you got here. This is an accessory to a cell phone. Right. And it attaches to the back of the cell phone so that you can put business cards on your cell phone.
And it's rubberized, so it won't cut your pocket or anything. And it holds about 6 business cards. And so when a person says to me, "Do you have a business card?" I say, "Yeah." Pull out my cell phone. Mm-hmm. There's my business card.
What do you think is going to be the thing we can't believe when we look back at today? Are we going to say, "I can't believe how bad phones sounded"? Because to me, when we were kids, we had that rotary phone. That signal was pretty good.
Yes.
Okay, now, it's convenient. You can carry it with you. but the signal is not always that good.
Right.
You know, so I'm wondering if in 10 years we're going to look back and say, oh my gosh, can you believe that's what it used to sound like?
It's one of the few items that we pay for religiously. We wouldn't dare not pay for our cell phone and have connectivity. That if it goes out for an hour or you're in a bad cell, oh well.
Do you know?
But if you did that with TV,
Yeah.
We were talking this morning. We were talking this morning about what would you do if you were CEO for a day.
Mm-hmm.
If I was CEO for a day of any of these cell phone companies,
right,
I would say do something to make the signal as clear as when you talk on Skype. Because how come Skype can do it?
Mm-hmm.
The signal is as clear as if you're in the next room.
Yeah, exactly.
So if cell phones were that clear, you would have everybody would come to you for their cell phone.
Sure. How many times have you gotten a call from somebody and you know it's them because it just sounds like them, and then the next day you get a call from them and they start talking to you and you go, who is this?
Right,
Exactly.
It doesn't sound anything like them.
Oh my gosh!
So
What's your weekend plans? Anything?
Yes, yard work. I'm afraid it's one of those. When you own a home, it owns you.
What kind of gadget do you use for your yard work?
Weed whackers that are battery powered, of course.
That's good.
And a lawnmower that's battery powered. I just got a battery powered lawnmower. So now it's silent. You know, it's like
Wow.
stealth lawnmower. You can mow the yard and no one knows you're doing it.
Well, it seems like everybody mowed their lawns last Sunday because Larry said he mowed his lawn. My
Oh,
landlord
okay.
mowed mine.
I'll tell you one thing, it's been raining. Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh, thank you. We're off the air, guys.
We missed my mark again. We'll be right back.